Let's bring in our reporter, Jayed-Leigh Paulse, on the scene for us in Durban, south of Durban. Jayed-Leigh, very good morning to you. What are you witnessing there?
Well, a very good morning to you, Blaine, and to the viewers. You spoke to the environmentalists to find out all about the impact, Blaine, but here on the ground here in Wentworth, we've spent the better part of the morning speaking to locals about what exactly happened. Many said they woke up to a large bang, Blaine. It sounded very large. Some said even they thought that the guards were coming. But I do have with me Robert McKenzie. He's from the Emergency Services, and he's going to be telling us about what exactly happened here, how many people have been infected. Robert, you spoke to me earlier on saying that people have been taken to hospital. There's also been fake news about several people dying here. Can you just break down for us what exactly happened, how many people have been taken to hospital, and what is Emergency Services doing on the ground as it stands?
Good morning. Yes, just after 7 a.m. there was an explosion at the facility with a resulting fire. Emergency Services responded to the scene and have treated 7 people at the scene. All of these 7 people are in a stable condition and have been transported to hospital for continued medical care. I'm only aware of these 7 patients that have been transported, as I mentioned, all in a stable condition. The fire has since been extinguished. There was also a fire at a nearby flat. However, the correlation between these 2 events I can't confirm at this stage. At that fire, the fire is being extinguished, and initially nobody was transported to the scene, from the scene.
Robert, a lot of the community members here are saying that they are very worried about the smell in the air. They're also worried about small children in the area here in Wentworth. Just talk about the impact of this explosion with regards to the community living here, because it's quite a large community that is surrounding the oil refinery.
Well, for my portfolio, I'm only allowed to comment on the emergency response to the incident, which is basically wrapping up at the moment. The fire is being extinguished. We've transported the injured patients to hospital. However, that doesn't mean it's all finishing here. There's a different phase of the response that will be continuing now. Emergency services are still on the scene, so there will be a continued phase and a continued response to the incident, even though it's not an emergency response.
There's been testing also done. Can you tell us about that?
I wouldn't have any of those details at this stage.
As it stands now, we know that 7 people have been taken to hospital, minor injuries. With regards to medical personnel, will you still be speaking to locals, asking them if they're experiencing inhalation problems or anything of that sort?
Well, like I mentioned, emergency service, we do still have paramedics at the scene on standby. However, from what we find, normally people do present immediately afterwards. But if there are people with concerns, they can phone the emergency services.
Thank you very much, Robert. Well, that was Robert McKenzie from EMS here on the ground, Blaine, talking about what they're currently doing. As it stands, this just happened 2 hours ago, so people are still scrambling, trying to find out what exactly happened, what was the cause of this explosion, but also speaking to the community, doing testing. Like he said to me, right now they're going to be rolling out these testing, but he can't exactly go into depth with that. I just want to ask Nati if he can walk with me and show you what's happening right here. If I can just step out of shot, you can see the community are still out in their numbers. Also, Engen staff have also congregated looking at the situation unfolding. Many of them arrived for work, not realizing that there was this huge explosion, so they too are very confused, but I'm sure that management will be in talks with them, and I'm sure that the plant has also been closed for the day. A lot of locals are also still standing around, those that were trying to catch taxis to go to work. Not sure as to what is happening here. The fire has been taken, or rather contained, but as it stands now, the repercussions of this are dire. We do know that up the road, Nati can just show you, up the road, there's also been a flat that was also on fire. We don't know if the correlation between the oil refinery explosion and the flat is the same incident. We know that it could have, one of the explosions could have actually went all the way up that road, but as of yet, medical personnel and police can't confirm that. And these members of the public are just standing around waiting to hear what exactly is going to be happening. There has been several testing with certain individuals who experienced inhalation problems, but I suppose that EMS on the ground will be alerting us to what exactly is going to happen throughout the rest of the day. We're going to try and go to the community members who were severely affected, those members who also were rushed to hospital. May perhaps cross to you in the next crossing, Blaine, and give you an update with regards to that.
Jayed-Leigh, I just want to get a sense of where exactly you are in relation to where the explosion was. And are you getting any distinct smell from where you were standing?
Well, I'm sure many of you can see me holding my mask upright to my nose several times. There is quite a pungent smell in the air. If I can just ask Nati to walk with me again. Nati, if you can just turn your camera and show the viewers. That is where Engen is situated right now. The road has been cordoned off, and on top of Engen, you'll see that oil refinery. That's where the explosion took place. So where we are standing now, this is also a residential area in Wentworth, and there are a lot of flats, a lot of houses that are surrounding this area. And I suppose that many back at home are also wondering, why would an oil refinery be built in a residential area? But I suppose that environmentalists and those who are fighting this or are going to be giving their opinions will also dip into that conversation with you in the program, Bren. But as it stands right now, the situation is contained. EMS are on the ground, making sure that people are not experiencing any inhalation problems. Those that are affected will be taken to hospital, and like Robert McKenzie there said, they'll also be rolling out tests to ensure that there aren't any people affected by the explosion that occurred just after 7 o'clock this morning.
COVID notwithstanding, if ever there was a need for a mask, it's covering a story like this. Jayed-Leigh Paulse, thank you very much indeed for the update. We'll let you go and speak to the residents. We'll come back to
That's
you
true.
In a short